Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video, here to give you guys a heads up on the Star Wars Jedi Survivor PC system requirements. Very much looking to Jedi Survivor. If you guys know, I have been talking up Jedi Fallen Order for years and years, ever since it's come out. And I would say Jedi Fallen Order was really the game that brought me a lot more into Star Wars. Like, I'm not going to say I'm the biggest Star Wars fan on the planet. I haven't even watched all the movies, but I was working my way through the movies. Some things got in the way, and you know, that's been kind of halted for the time being, but Jedi Fallen Order is a game that I really enjoyed. There were some issues with it. I've been very vocal about the atrocity that is the map design in that game. Not the map design in the sense of how the world is laid out, but the actual, like, overlay map, the hologram map. Oh my god, was that terrible. But hopefully, you know, the minor issues that Jedi Fallen Order did have are remedied in the sequel, and it really does look like this is a next level title. Now, bear in mind, this is a true next-gen game, no PS4, Xbox One release, and much like EA's recent releases, a full $70. Do bear in mind that if you're gonna buy Jedi Survivor, probably the best route to go would be to sign up for EA Access, at least for a month, so you can get 10% off of the game, because 10% off of $70 is in fact $7. EA Access for a month is $5. You'll get access to all of the other bells and whistles that EA Access will give you, and, you know, the cost will be covered based on the fact that you're buying Jedi Survivor. You guys know what I'm saying? But, yeah, we have the system requirements, and one of the components of this system requirements really making some noise right now on social media. We'll get to that. Minimum, you're looking at a Ryzen 5 1400 or an Intel Core i7 7700, 4-core, 8 threads. For the GPU, you're looking at a Radeon RX 580 or a GTX 1070. You know, that's nothing crazy. As far as GPU and CPU goes on both of the ends, you know, Ryzen 5 1400, nothing too crazy there, and RX 580, nothing too crazy there either. i7 7700, yeah, that is an i7, but a lot of these games are multi-threaded, and that's kind of like an expectation a lot of us have had going forward. And a GTX 1070, again, that was a great GPU back in its heyday, but it's been quite many years since a 1070 was at the forefront. And storage, we'll talk more about this. 155 gigabytes. What is going on here? 155 gigabytes? Yeah, that's insane. I'll talk that after we go over everything else. Okay, now let's go recommended. You're looking at a Ryzen 5 5600X or an Intel Core i5 11600K. You know, pretty good CPUs. Let's not get it twisted, but it is recommended. You know, that's about what I would expect. The CPU features 4-core, 8 threads. Once again, so, you know, higher end for sure, but nothing too insane. GPU, a RX 6700 XT or an RTX 2070. Look, a 2070 is a great GPU, but when you're talking about true next generation titles, games that aren't seeing last gen releases, and games that do frankly look as good as Jedi Survivor does, yeah, an RTX 2070 is what I would expect at this stage of the game. It's a couple generations old. It still holds up really nicely, but it's nice to see that a game like Jedi Survivor, it will be able to be ran at recommended system requirements by a GPU that's 2 generations old. Now, the question remains, what settings, what performance, what resolution? We'll ultimately get those answers when the game drops, or, you know, embargoes lifted, everything like that. But yeah, nothing too crazy there, and they do also outline a DX12, 8GB of VRAM, that is both for minimum and recommended, and 155GB, but they do specify, you know, storage SSD, of course, when you're talking recommended for smoother load times and things of that nature. Look, it seems like everybody wants to talk about the 155 gigabytes of storage size, and yes, for a game like Jedi Survivor, 155 gigs is kind of insane. Now, will it end up being 155 gigs? Probably not. It'll probably be like 110 or something like that. To give you guys a comparison point, Jedi Fallen Order was 51.5 gigabytes, so it's not like Jedi Fallen Order was this small game. Far from it, you know, being a small install, but, you know, if you're looking at that 155 gigabyte number that is listed as far as the system requirements go, you'll be like, oh my god, they're tripling the size of the game. It'll probably end up being closer to double because, generally speaking, what is listed is usually a little bit higher than what actually ends up being the amount that is required for the game. But still, 155 gigabytes, that's a wild, wild amount that is being noted. And to circle back to Jedi Fallen Order's system requirements did list 55 gigabytes, and the game was ultimately 55 gigabytes. So that's just me looking at it right now. I don't know. 155 gigs to me, just looking at that number, that just seems wild to me. Now, this is an expansive game, a lot of variety in the levels, and it's going to have more open levels as well. So, you know, I was expecting this to be a hefty install, but once you're talking 155 gigabytes, like, that's an insane file size. Like, what is Red Dead? Red Dead Redemption 2 is 119.45. I can see it being closer to that level. Like, 120 gigabytes, okay, that's one thing. 155 is just, like, a little bit astronomical when you're talking about install sizes. And, you know, Red Dead, to circle back about that game's recommended, you know, storage size and minimum storage size was 150 gigabytes, but looking at the install size on Steam, you know, for me, it's 119.45 gigabytes. So I would imagine with Jedi Survivor, it's gonna be more in line with that. I just find it hard to believe, like, 155 gigabytes. I feel like some people aren't understanding how astronomical that is. And Red Dead and Rockstar games in general have a track record of being very, very expansive. But in the case of Jedi Survivor, I would be hard-pressed to really believe that this game is gonna be triple in size compared to Jedi Fallen Order. I might be wrong about that. Like, it might be 155 gigabytes, and if that is the case, even if it's north of 100 gigabytes, which, if 155 is listed, oh, yeah, bet your bottom dollar, or bet your top dollar, I don't even know what the saying is, but bet the house that it's gonna be, over 100 gigabytes, and that just goes back to what I've been talking about for a while. I don't talk about it as much anymore, but, you know, the idea of getting a 1 terabyte, storage configuration, years ago, that sounded nice and dandy. These days, 1 terabyte is really like the new 250 gigabyte hard drive configuration of a decade ago. Like, that's where we're at. These games, you know, you're seeing them be 100 gigabytes more often than not. So, you know, the idea of getting a terabyte NVMe and then maybe getting a 2 terabyte SSD, that's a configuration setup that you really want to look at as we're getting these larger and larger file sizes. And, you know, we're just amassing these Steam libraries and these game libraries that are gargantuan because you're getting games, you know, a lot of times pennies on the dollar, or in many cases even absolutely free, with all the free games being given out. So just something to think about if you are going to be building a new PC, buying a new PC. If you are going to, like, let's say buy a pre-built, a lot of them come with 1 terabyte NVMEs right out the box, and that's fine to an extent. Like, that'll suffice for a lot of people, especially if you're okay with uninstalling, reinstalling games and things like that. But for a lot of people, you might be thinking about expanding that right out the gate. Outside of the storage requirement, nothing else really surprises me too much, and everything looks relatively tame in my eyes. You know, 8 gigs minimum, 16 gigs recommended. That's gonna be the standard for most games going forward, and you're gonna see a lot of games with the multi-tiered requirements, they're gonna get as high as, you know, 24, 32 gigabytes for RAM setups. But that'll do it for me. Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.